I sh you know what the problem is right now? I like the update to OBS, but I do have one issue. Just one issue is that when you boot up OBS, none of the windows that you resize are the same. So I have to like resize them manually, and that's kind of annoying. But everything else with the new update to OBS, I actually really like. Okay. Looking nice and fresh and clean. We're back. I'll be playing some video games. Okay. I'm gonna boot this game up. I did not test to see if this game is running. So we're about to see if this game actually runs. As the category suggests, we're playing some the first descent, rather. Well, I can't talk. It's in beta right now. I got beta access to it. It's a Nexon game. It's booting up now. And boy, oh boy. Can I already tell that I'm gonna need to fix some of this. I'm gonna let this play a little bit. The new setup is here, folks. We're here and we're doing the thing. Ooh. We're connecting. Is this gonna be like a Gundam, like evolution thing where like I'm gonna find out like I can't access the beta for whatever reason? I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the case. Let me get this. This lighting is never gonna be right for me. Even though I'm in a room and like the lighting, I got lights coming from here. I think the problem is I need like something over, yeah, it's over here. I think I might need to move that light to like over here to even it out because there's so much light. Well, while it's still connecting, I'm gonna get up now and see if I can move this light. Where do I even move it to? Should I do this? Would that be better? That's actually a little bit better. But in reality, the light has to come over here. This part of my face has to be like lit up a little bit more. If I turned it off over there. It's like this half of my face. It's not even throughout. That's the only problem. Well, I was doing that. Medium. Okay. I have no idea what any of this shit is here, but that's all off. Okay. So that probably is gonna help out with the game. Don't accept all. Off. Chat box transparency. How about we just do normal? Normal. Show weapon damage in detail. Oh. Okay. I think we're just gonna start the game. So if you're wondering what that thing is like around me, it's called Wave Visualizer, and I thought it would actually be pretty cool to have it connected to sound so you're actually seeing the sound, the music that's playing right now, it's kind of annoying, to be honest with you. It's connected to my game audio, but if I connect it to my mic, how's that? Okay, good. That's actually, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a lot better, because that can get annoying real quick. Okay, what is going to happen? I'm not gonna worry about the light until like after the stream ends. Okay. Oh, I literally thought it just crashed. I was like, oh, come on, man. I have a half decent PC. Like, there's nothing to write home about, but it gets the job done. You know what I mean? Let me open the window. I do got my coffee, so we're doing that. Oh shit, I forgot I have like I have some sort of notifications on, I think, about me going live. I swear, I didn't know this was gonna happen. Really? Jesus, I'm trying to go to my chat. I'm trying to like shift tab, right? For Steam. I hate this. I didn't go into like I didn't change like the borderless window. All right, hold on. After when the shaders are compiled, I guess I'll fucking go to my chat. The good thing now about this is that you can actually have multiple tabs up in like on one side of OBS. So I have like my stream information, my chat, activities, things like that, that like all are in one too, which I might change, to be honest with you. Okay. All right, Nexon, I know it's you. Nexon wants you to know.
Everything.
Oh.
The connection between two worlds.
Okay.
About a century ago, humans were defeated by the Vulgus.
The Vulgus.
Invaders from the other world. Then came the
Uh-oh.
who destroyed
I
everything.
think I actually saw this already. Okay. So, classic, you know, we got invaded.
Until they could no longer.
Yeah, we fell because we weren't strong enough. Uh-oh. Okay, Deus Ex Machina, this mysterious power that makes us superhumans.
Ancestors' power.
We,
Finally, they could fight with newfound.
we found the light of the traveler,
Another threat had emerged.
but we don't. It's not called the traveler. It's not called the
new
light.
leader of the Vulgus.
No context about like who that guy is. He's just the new leader of the Vulgus, the enemy of the game. Okay.
We must fight back.
I got spoiled a little bit already. I already saw this opening cinematic here,
With the ancestors'
and I already
powers.
saw like people playing the game too. It's up already on Steam. If you got invited to the beta, I think if you just go to Steam, go to the page,
I've been waiting for
and I think you should be able to like join into the beta. Like I joined, I asked for access like a while back, and I got it yesterday. So we'll see what happens here. Okay. I gotta fix my chair. I need a new chair too. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh my goodness. Ah. Oh. Oh, what the fuck? Okay.
There has to be another way.
No. This is our only chance. We have to strike now.
Okay. So I got a preview about like those 3 characters too. They're not like the main characters or anything, but they're like, so this is a hero shooter. Okay, not like Overwatch. It's a nice looking cinematic, don't get me wrong, but I can already tell there's like jittering. So I might have to turn down the settings. Oh, what the fuck? Oh shit, he's got a Winter Soldier arm. Yeah. Winter Soldier had a metal arm, but he didn't have a gun on it. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's your tank. So she's like a wizard or something. Techno. Okay. So she's a cryomancer. I'm clearly gonna pick the guy with the horns. He just looks fucking ridiculous. Of course, she's showing cleavage for like no real reason other than they just need a hot female lead or character. Okay. We have Lepic. Okay. Okay. Shift tab. You go to my chat now. What's up, chat? Oh my god, I'm still in emotes only mode? This is how you know that there we go. Sorry about that. All right. Here we go. Okay. All right, now we're free. Let's type that out. Yep, chat's working. We're good to go. Okay. Okay. Obviously, we're clicking the cool Ajax app, but we'll go. You know what? Let's go in order.
Time to execute the executioner.
Lepic or Lepic, however you pronounce it. With Lepic around the battlefield becomes more lively with his unique right arm. He can show off some powerful attacks. He can draw in as many as he wants using the traction grenade. Okay. Max shield, show recovery out of combat. Active skills. Grenade. This is actually really cool. You just hover over it and they show you what the ability looks like. So he's grenades. Power stream. Increases skill attack and adds a burn effect to grenade. Okay. Traction grenade. Oh, that's actually really cool. Okay. He's got a lot of grenades. He's got an arm launcher. Okay. So, area of effect. Passive skill, 9 lives. Ends. I gotcha. Okay. Hot chick. Viessa.
Over if you freeze it.
Max shield. Ice beam. Frost fog. Okay. Ice wave. So pure offense. Essentially, you're ice wizard. On one or more enemy creates an ice sphere circling Viessa. Okay. We're obviously gonna pick the fucking dude. Came back alive from the void. Is an expert in destroying physical space. He is the only descendant who can immediately aid an ally in danger. Oh, that's a bold claim right there. Reverse door. Huh. If enhanced, reflects damage proportional to defense. Oh shit. Okay. Void walk. So this is a stomp. Leaps in the air and strikes nearby enemies, stunning them. If enhanced, max shield strength increases for a certain period of time. Expulsion. Strike nearby enemies, knocking them back. If enhanced, knockback range is increased. Okay, if you're looking at this, you're thinking Destiny 2. That is the comparison. This is very much like Destiny 2, and I can already tell from the classes that they've shown. This is very much like Destiny 2. Hypercube. Dome shipper. He has literally two. He has a front barrier, and then he has a all-encompassing barrier. Okay. To the mount. Okay. Huh. This is interesting. Okay. So I'm just like checking out a couple other things here too. Okay. To unlock these things. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm actually like just changing up like a couple of things here. We go back to what I had before. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Oh my god. What is this? Why did this like just like fit in so perfectly? Okay. Sorry. Just like, okay, now we can lock these. All right. Thank you. Jesus. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Yep. Here we go. That's perfect. Lock them all. All right, let's go. Let's play video games now. You see that little spot there? Yeah, there's some tearing there already. I should turn. I mean, I already turned it down like pre cutscene. It looks good. This does look good. Like, tell me if it doesn't look good, but it does look good. There's a lot of stuttering right now. I don't know if that's on my end or if that's the game. Yo, he just like materialized a lightning sword. What? I can't get over the fact that they're just showing cleavage for no reason. It's so funny. It's so like, if you're playing video games for any amount of time, it's just like, in so many games, like female armor makes no sense whatsoever. Just so you like guys know, like actual like real life armor, like medieval armor, there was a concave. What do I mean by that is, when you had plate armor on, it wasn't flush to your chest. The reason being is, if someone had like a blunt instrument and a piece of chest armor was like flush to your chest, it would cave in your chest. Imagine that, like a piece of like steel that was hit with such force, it got forced and turned inwards into your chest. You would probably have a hard time breathing. So what happened was, when like medieval knights had their armor on, they put on their chest armor, and what happened was there was a space between the upper portion of the armor, right, where your pectoral region is. So in the case of like I said, like a blunt instrument hitting that part, it would like go inward, that piece of the armor, but it wouldn't really like compress your chest and possibly constrict your breathing or like break like something like up near like your upper chest area. Okay, now we're in the game. So yeah, that's why like female boob armor always like never made sense to me. Okay, so they've locked all your abilities. Okay, so your abilities are Q, C, V, and Z. What? C, V, and Z. Okay.
Descendant, I can't confirm your location. If you're all right, try to move around.
Are the others safe?
Great. I picked up your signal. Yes, everyone's on the move. I'll guide you to the meeting point.
So classic, shift to run. So you do have, okay, so that's hip fire. This is zoom in and shot.
How many did I say?
I will send you demons to hell. Okay, so you do have ammo. So there is, oh shit, so I didn't even see any ammo boxes on the ground. Okay, these effects are like a little kind of crazy. Options, normal. I think chat. Yeah, I don't want to fucking like see that. Damage display option, show weapon damage in detail. I don't care about that. Sprint control toggle. Okay, graphics. That's it for the graphics options. Okay. Keyboard, mouse, I'm not concerned about that. Sensitivity's fine. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Does this all the time. There we go. Okay. Oh my god, it has borderless window mode. You have no idea how good that is. Speakers on, mic volume, mic master volume. Yeah. Kind of sparse on the whole. Oh, shh.
Run! It's after you.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? What was that?
Answer me.
The ground collapsed because of the target's high-power beam attack.
The Vulcans are bound to be lurking in the area. Watch out.
Okay. Ooh. Is there like a... Is there camera shake? Hold on. Yeah, there's like this weird camera shake involved. Okay. We're gonna pump this up the... Okay, there's an FOV slider to it. We're like super fucking close. Oh my god, yeah, that's better. Yeah, you guys see that? There's like this weird camera shake.
There's an explosive ahead. Left after the attraction.
Might be a deliberate ploy to distract us.
That lasted a
Don't
while.
let your guard down. Stay on the path.
Okay.
How many did I say?
Okay. Okay, there we go. These are my general rounds. Okay. Okay. They need to have it. All right. To any developers that might be watching this stream, you gotta give me an option to remove like this weird motion blur and camera shake thing. It's kind of nauseating. Like I need something here. I understand you guys think it looks cool, but that is like, I'm already getting sick, like, playing the game. I'm barely like, how many minutes am I into the stream? I'm 28 minutes in the stream. I think I did like maybe like 10 minutes. Not even like 10 minutes of like actual gameplay. And I'm already like getting sick.
These roads are just like the pathways in Kingston's underground area.
Well, according to the coordinates, you're still in Kingston, so that would explain the similarity. The target is headed your way. Watch out.
Oh shit, it just gave me like, that's a shotgun clearly. All right, so you got different ammo types. This is, so that's what, a sniper? Q.
How many did I say?
Okay. That's kind of weird. No offense. Like that type of target acquisition, that's a little weird to me.
Lasted a while.
That's fine. What
How
about?
many did I send?
Okay. You don't need to do that with the reload, with the bar coming in. Like if you just like do it once, or it's like a gradual one. Like that was like clearly like I was empty and I had to like do a reload. Just do like a gradual. That was like, that was a little bit too intense for my eyes. Listen, I'm an old man, so.
Picked up the target signal again. It's coming from the deepest part of the base. It was injured in the previous battle. While it's weak,
So far,
don't miss the
movement,
opportunity
I don't
to
have a
take
lot
it
of complaints about like the movement or anything like that. Okay, so this is gonna be like a forced boss battle. All right, let's see how this goes. Is this like a machine, or is this like some sort of like synthetic being or something like that? Oh, okay. Okay, so we have. Okay, so these are just some ads. So I think I have.
How many did I send?
Yeah, this isn't exactly like very, very complicated. He's also like not doing any damage to me too, I think. The only damage I'm actually getting is from... Okay. Oh. Cutscene. Not bad. Okay. Gunplay's okay.
Get out of there now. It's Karul's fleet.
Just have to get used to it. So clearly they wanted to be like very much like Destiny 2, a lot of mobility, a lot of people running around. If you're wondering why this is very much like, it feels like Destiny 2 so far. Gunplay doesn't feel as good, but it's a little bit of an unfair comparison, only because like Destiny 2's been around for so long now that they've kind of refined the gunplay to being like one of the best like FPSs out right now, next to like Call of Duty. Okay, the bad guy. The visuals look good. There is a little bit of like choppiness though, here and there, like right there.
They thought they were fighting for honor. Bring me the Heart of Iron immediately.
So like generic bad guy. So just enough story they're gonna give you to intrigue you a little bit. I don't know if this game is free to play or not. I'm assuming it is. If it's gonna follow that Destiny 2 model now. Remember, Destiny 2 wasn't free to play when it first came out. It was you had to pay for the game, and then like a couple years later, it became free to play, and it started following a free to play model.
You're back. I'm glad you made it out safely.
Oh, woo!
I'm at headquarters right now. Meet me there. It's been too long since
that was a major drop in like FPS right there, for whatever reason. Oh god! Just gotta remember, this is a beta. By the way, this is a beta.
Where would you like to travel?
Okay, so this is a portal. So we're gonna see some roughness here. That's where I need to go.
I just changed shift. Is there a problem?
You're here. It's a swamp of an operation. A swamp.
Okay.
Karel and the Legion of Darkness haven't been seen for a while, and there were rumors that he was dead. But it turns out he's alive and well. Pity. We've had intel he's hiding in Kingston. Our plan was to increase the number of human settlements starting there. But now that Karel is sniffing around, we might have trouble achieving that. Our priority now is to figure out what Karel is up to. Lieutenant Chalet from Kingston is already conducting an investigation. You're being sent there to help. Make your preparations in Albion and come back to me when you're set.
Press the I button to open the eye. Okay, yeah, it's inventory. Alright. Alright, check the sense equipment staff from the inventory and move W. Move to W info screen to see detailed stats. Okay. Mastery rank indicates the proficiency of the player. All descendants share the same mastery rank. Level is the level of the current descendant. Level up to enhance descendant's basic stats. Basic stat, okay? Check your equipped weapon. Descendants can equip 3 weapons. To change this weapon, click on the weapon slot. Okay? Upgrade your weapon by enhancing his weapon runes. Okay, here's the RPG elements. Check the rune connected to the weapon slot with the line. I think the rune enhances the weapon. Okay, so different weapons, different runes apply to different weapons. All right, that's all right. So essentially, your build for each descendant is gonna surround like a specific type of weapon. So very similar to Destiny 2, like you have builds on your armor, and then the armor that you equip enhances your abilities, but then you can set up in regards to like a specific weapon too. Like for my Arc Titan build, 3.0 build, I use a lot of my arc abilities in conjunction with Risk Runner. It's an SMG. It's great for PvE. It's like if you're taking like arc damage too. There's an arc burn going on for like a dungeon or something like that, or for like a nightfall. It's great because you can like chain lightning essentially everybody. Connected rune enhances the weapon. To make the weapon stronger, click on the connected rune. Okay. Press an N. Rune settings. From that button from the inventory screen will also show rune screen. Okay. Okay. Rune effects apply when using shotguns. Okay, Thunder Rune, Haze Rune, Tide Rune, Torrent Rune, Storm Rune. Okay. And then this is something. Okay. Okay. Equip your rune to enhance your weapon and descendant. Collect various runes and set up your own strategy. Okay. And poems of weapons. Okay. Weapons with rune effect. It shows weapon types enhanced by the selected rune type. Weapon shining in green indicates that it's currently equipped. Okay. Descendant rune types enhance descendant. Equip runes that enhance descendant's defense and skill. You can also equip melee attack runes as needed. Melee attack runes offer additional capacity. Offers additional. Are they talking about like more inventory space or like? Okay. Shows. All right. I think this is translated. So the translation's not clear. It's Nexon, right? Yeah. It shows currently equipped rune. Okay. Higher. So you get more rune slots. Okay. All runes have capacity cost. The total capacity cost of equipped runes cannot exceed the capacity limit. Okay. Fair enough. Rune capacity limit increase. Weapon rune capacity limit increases depending on your mastery rank. Descendant rune capacity limit increases depending on your level. You equip more runes, increase your level and mastery rank. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna let me fucking. Okay, so I have no runes. No, I have like one rune. No. Yeah. So I have like nothing. So a Thunder Rune applies to sniper rifles and launchers. Haze Rune applies to a shotgun. Okay. Story quest types. Ongoing quests. Okay. What? Wait, this guy's name is Alpha? Okay. Ooh, okay.
Enjoy it if you can't avoid it, right?
Okay, real name is Gregory. Why just call Greg? It's called McConnell. McConnell has been called for.
Are you ready to go to Kingston? I don't know if you've met Lieutenant.
He's
Shepard
Alpha.
before. He's the captain of the
When the
Kingston
war
Dispatch
came
an
and the
excellent
Vulcan
commander.
attacked,
His dispatch team are perhaps
I
the
lost an
bravest
eye.
soldiers of
I
Albion.
got cool scars.
Braver even than
I got a
descendants
crazy
in
looking
some
gun.
ways.
I'm wearing
Go
armor.
to Kingston and meet Chalet. He'll tell you more.
They call
about
me
the
Alpha
mission.
now. Yeah. Okay. G's the map. Okay. WASD for the map. Okay. It looks sort of big, but I feel like it's very deceptive. Void intercept out, void. All right, so I'm in Albion. We need to go to Kingston. Go to the mission beacon to start the mission. Field quest. Ongoing field quests in the region. You can see the list of... Okay, so you have to complete field quests to activate the next region. Okay. Field options. Okay, so I can't do a public one until I complete the 5th mission. Okay. Oh. Okay.
With operations in the Vulgus, the fewer the better.
We're loading. For those of you who don't know, on the bottom right hand side, my bars there
I'm dying.
are blocking like the loading icon. I think. Yeah, okay, there we go. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually like pretty cool. Like this. I went back to the loading screen. Okay. Discord. What you guys don't see here is... Okay. Okay. We're starting... Why was he stopping us? Okay. That was weird. It took me to the... It took me to the, load screen. Okay. So far, there's some issues. Ooh. Dude, when you, like, initially, like, drop in, maybe it's just, like, with the streaming, but, like, my FPS just, like, tanked. But, I mean, it came back up, too.
You've never met a human outside of Albion? Not one?
Okay, we're going to Kingston. Let's go back. It's gonna boot me out. Loading. Loading. There's gotta be something else with like the loading screen there too. Sorry, that's my phone. Google. I like your phones. You don't have to keep trying to sell me your brand new phone, which I'm not gonna buy. Yeah, it booted me out. I would like to play your game. Oh, let me go read the mission quest. I'm doing something wrong. Okay, well, let's see if somebody responds. Yeah, it's booting me to, so G for the map. That's where I am. Okay.
Check your map.
Okay, I got nothing here. Oh. Yeah.
Connecting.
Listen to me. At the excavation site.
Who's Seneca?
To save lives to be able to plan for new knowledge.
Okay. Can't do any of that stuff. Travel to the Lost Village in Kingston. That's what I'm trying to do, but every time I fast travel, it's booting me. Oh, there it is. Third time's the charm. Well, we'll see. Yep. Yeah, they have to turn off motion blur. Like, there's like some pretty intense blur. Like, you see that jitteriness too? Dude, that's like, especially in combat. Cutscenes, I can deal with it, but like in combat, ooh, that's rough.
You are finally here, Descendant.
Of course, she has leggings on. She has like no pants.
I've been waiting a long time for you. Look at this place. The Descendants who came before were the ones who built it.
All right.
They risked their lives to build camps like this one across the continent and shed light upon the darkness.
Oh, that FPS is dropping hard, man. Damn.
A long time ago. The darkness will always find its way home.
It's definitely the game. The FPS in the game is dropping. They need an FPS counter, like. I see. I'll check the options again.
It's good to see you.
Look.
That machine is in need of repair. Vulgus troops have still not vacated the area nearby.
It's a beta, so I'm not worried about it too much. But like, ooh. Yeah, like right there. Talk to Shale, Captain Kingston dispatch at the Lost Village. Right there. Complete all missions in Kingston.
You mean that operation?
It looks good, even on like medium settings. I might just lower it a little bit too.
Greetings, Descendant. I'm Lieutenant Charlet, commander of the
Charlet.
Kingston Dispatch. At the request of the Sages, we're looking for an unusual energy source in this area. We haven't identified it yet, but something is emitting a unique wavelength, different from the energies of the Vulgus.
Sorry for all you guys that are watching the stream.
We thought that it was coming from somewhere near the Kingston underground
It's a beta,
area,
so it's
but
not gonna be
recently
perfect. There's gonna be
disappeared.
drops in
Corell's
FPS.
fleet appeared around
I'm
the
not
same
really
time.
seeing. I'm seeing it a
We
little
don't
bit
think
on
that's
my
just
end.
coincidence.
You guys are probably
There
seeing
must
it
be a connection.
on the stream a
We
little
know
bit
more
more.
if the detectors were intact, but they were all destroyed by the enemy.
This is pretty interesting.
So,
I actually like it.
First step. I'd like your help retrieving those destroyed detectors so we can recover the data.
So
I'm
move
looking
to
for
the.
a new place to install the beacon.
Okay. Okay. So pretty vent options. I'm just gonna move it to low. I really... Oh, don't hide the chat. I want to see what's going on. Show damage display option. Show damage. Is that for... Okay. They need to explain what this is. Is this for, against the enemies or against, or is it like damage numbers? That's the thing I'm confused about too. Yeah. These can't be your only options for the graphic settings too. This is fine. General sensitivity. I think I might actually... So this is the beta test. So you see that? You see that motion blur? That is like crazy motion blur too. Tell me not to do that again. Oh my god.
The previous detectors installed nearby have all been destroyed. It's risky, but I need you to retrieve those broken detectors.
Okay, so
this is completely trashed. First data set retrieved. Seems corrupted.
ooh.
How many did I say?
Good. That's the shotty. This is the scout rifle. I like a good scout rifle. Yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the drops on like my end. Even on like low. Is this like doing it? I'm seeing it like on my preview screen here when I move. Like there's like some pretty intense drops.
Head inside the building. There's another detector near the statue.
Ooh.
That lasted a while.
Second data set retrieved.
Oh shit, you can actually shoot through this.
How many did I say? That lasted a while. How many did I send?
That mission blur is fucking nuts, dude. Alright. You have to turn off the blur. Oh, what was that hit detection? Gunplay's not bad. The FPS has to like steady up.
That lasted a while. How many did I send? It's safe now.
We may be playing some Overwatch later too. We'll see what happens.
How many did I send?
I still haven't unlocked these other abilities. Where's... Yep. My mana is full. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm seeing like that major drop in FPS.
Recovered them before any information was leaked.
Descendant, can you hear me? Temporarily hacking the Aceve's signal, so this conversation won't be heard or recorded by anyone else. I should probably introduce myself first, but we can get to that later. For now, just call me your guider. We don't have much time. Let me lead the way so you don't get lost.
Descendant, everything okay? I think we lost connection. Descendant, can you take on another mission? We have to install some new detectors that arrived from Albion.
Okay. Don't have that. Okay. Okay. Inventory. Recipient unknown. Nightmare Hound. What we'll do is gangster. Oh my god. Okay. What is
I will show you how I returned.
Oh shit, these are all the descendants. Okay. I keep saying it just sounds like so just sounds so corny, just to be honest with you. Ultimate Lepic.
The new model has a wider detection range. Install it somewhere high up to optimize its surveillance potential.
Just remember, the higher you are, the more likely it is you'll be noticed. So you better watch out.
Bitch? Dude, that is... Oh. Okay. I can tell like that hit detection's not that great. Gunplay feels okay. These halflings are...
That lasted a while.
I do not understand.
How many did I say?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like jarring right there. All right. Huh. That is... Okay, so it doesn't do...
Install a second detector here.
Oh, there's like this crazy sputtering.
It seems the Vulgus have taken over the dwelling of an aristocrat from the old Hutton era.
That lasted a while.
Yeah. See, now they're like hurting me. Is he above me?
How many did I say?
Wait, Descendant. The regulator in the new device isn't working.
Okay, hold on.
Great. It wasn't a major breakdown.
Okay. Let's see. I'm like leaning forward like so fucking much now. I'm like out of frame. I like have, if you're wondering like why like I'm a circle, I didn't do anything special. I just put like an image mask on my camera. So I think if I'm gonna be like this the entire time, I need to just need to do. I'm not looking for like perfect, but like I'm like this the entire time. So we'll just see what happens. It's not like I honestly would rather have like the camera like right in front of me, but I'm trying to find like the perfect angle. There isn't, and there just isn't one for my current setup. to actually no, I actually do want that. That's actually nice. If you want to know why like the camera's not in front of me, it's because I have like a light that's here, that's over my monitor, and I bought it so it can like light up like my keyboard area. Because if I don't have it, then it's just, you know, it's just not good. I can't see my keyboard. I can see why like somebody like Lepic would make like so much fucking sense. Holy sh. Okay. Oh. I need to get fucking. Oh shh. Ooh.
I'll take the lead. Loading.
Okay. That was getting a little precarious there for a second, alright? Dude, they really gotta like turn off like the motion blur, like especially when you turn. Game looks good even on like the lowest settings. I don't know if like those settings applied. Here we go. I don't think I actually have. Do I have grenades? I don't think so. Get rid of all these ads. Okay, let me finish this mission and we'll go ahead and do that.
How many did I say?
Descendant, we're trying to activate the dispatch team. Sending troops on that was on location. Gotta protect the protection devices.
I'll take that lead. How many did I say? That lasted a while. How many did I say? Loading!
They're retreating. Great work, Descendant.
I'll take the lead.
Oh shit. They got rid of the motion blur.
How many did I say?
Okay. Ooh, I need to take care of those snipers.
How many did I say?
Shit. I forgot. I didn't fucking. Those fucking snipers, dude. Nice.
How many did I say?
Okay. Shotty for the win. Okay. So they said that they have... There's a patch that they just made. So we're going to exit out the game. Ooh, there was a lot of drop free. Okay. We'll see if it... It's probably going to be an update. Oh, the app's running. Hold on. Yo, I don't want to run Microsoft Teams. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's try again. I do want to play New World because Brimstone Sands like dropped and like I don't know why, but like I love that game. Oh my god, there's already like a fucking problem. Okay, hold on. What's going on? Let's do this. Let's open up Steam, and then we'll launch the game from Steam. There you go. Okay, so the game was running in the background. Oh my god. There's an update. It's literally updating right now. Okay. Whoop. It won't take that long when I'm off stream, but obviously like if I'm streaming, I'm using up a shit ton of bandwidth, even though like I'm on fairly low like streaming settings at 720p at 30 frames per second. So, but I actually just did update New World. So what we'll do is we'll play Amazon's game, which is actually Amazon's MMO. So moving on to New World. So we'll move on to New World. See if that captures. I actually like the image mask I have on. This is gonna capture. Yep, there we go. Ooh. Endgame expeditions. All right, I need to get back into like New World. Outpost Rush. A 20 banner, elite landmarks, elite arenas, trial arenas. Okay. I have not seen Rings of Power yet. I've heard mixed reviews. From some people I trust, some people that I don't trust. So, I don't know. Okay. You're gonna notice I have two characters here. I have Rudolph, my first character. This motherfucker is getting deleted. He was just a placeholder I was kind of messing around with. So we got Heart Gems, we got Night Veil Hallow. So he's my main, he's a tank. Turn this off. This game audio is like fucking. Okay. How's that? 25? So we're gonna create a brand new server. Eden. Let's see. Oh. All right, we'll go to Eden. So fresh start, baby. So we're starting from the beginning. We're gonna experience New World from the very beginning, all over again. A new world. This game really needs to cook for a little bit longer, because once they start rolling out more and more of the updates, like the game really start coming into its own. I hope people stick with it, bro. It's $39.99. You're not paying. It's not a $60 game. They do have a cash shop, but the cash shop is purely cosmetic, right?
The stories you've heard.
I think there's like world transfers that you have to buy, because I think after the first one, every subsequent one you have to like pay for.
Legend. There's power and vast riches as well. But those who've gone before.
But nothing that affects gameplay, as far as I know.
Never heard from.
I believe this cutscene they updated too.
I saw the horror, the madness that overcame the crew.
Oh, interesting.
It was beyond any evil the world has ever known. How I survived, I do not know. The contents of this box are not of this world. They will guide you to that one, wherever and whatever that may be. Go then, Captain. Chart your course and your fate. I will say a prayer for the souls of your crew.
Dunna. Dunna. No, no. I don't really remember all this. Yeah. This I don't remember. I think they updated this. Let's see. Body type, man. They didn't really update. Oh, I think they actually like shrunk this a little bit. Let's see. Let's go. I usually go for like that face. Let's go over this. I usually go for this, like this stoic face right here. Skin down. About right. Okay. They definitely need more hairstyles. All right. Should just go for this is fairly accurate right here. I'll go with the if I had hair. You could do some wacky shit, man. Yes. Go full Amish. Ain't gonna lie. Do the dastardly conquistador. Yeah, I like a good beard like that. I used to rock a goatee for like a long time, but I like the full beard. Go with my. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's go scars. Almost all my characters have like a scar. That's on the side. Half his face burnt off. All right. Let's do something like that. I want a little bit something different. That one. That's the shit. What's his name? Kylo Ren scar. You know they edited that from the first movie. It was something like that, but then they changed it in the second movie, and everybody noticed it. God, those movies. You know what the problem with those movies were? They didn't have a fucking coherent storyline. It made no fucking sense. I remember the opening. I read the opening crawl, and like I burst out laughing in the theater. Everyone looked at me, but everyone, I was looking at. I gave them the look of like, come on. Everyone's like, and the movie was horrible, dude. The movie was fucking horrible. And we'll go with that. Classic scar. Okay. Character name. The Roguish of Heels. I don't know if I'm gonna do like another like tank build, but I want to experience the game from the beginning again. So this is a new player experience for everybody, and I generally do like enjoy the game. Like the game is fun as hell. So this will be the character where I experiment with. Well, I'm gonna get that great sword as early as possible. I want a great sword musket because we're gonna be doing the great sword scales with like dex and strength, right? Yep. Oh, there's a Q. There's a Q. All right. All right, folks. How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing okay? Everybody doing well? We're queuing up. We're queuing up. Yeah. After I'm done streaming, which, damn, I only did like an hour and a half. Yeah, we're gonna be playing for another like 2-3 hours. After that, what I'll do is I'll do a update to the First Ascent, and then I'll just update that. I won't play it again until I play. I'll be back on stream tomorrow, and then we'll just do that. Oh, my camera just went nuts. After that too, I gotta figure this light out too. So the light is to my right. So you see my hand right here? Oh, sorry, my hand right here. So it's like right there. Sorry, as a reference. So this is me, right? This is my face, and just point it right up here. That's the camera, like right there. All right, the camera's right there, and then right above it is the light. But I need it on this side of my face. I kept thinking like I get confused because it's flipped for you guys on stream, but like I have to move the light over here. I just don't know where I can put it. I have it can reach the other side. I just don't know if I have a clamp for it. I might just have to clamp it to the desk here, and then just I guess turn it on. Because but the only thing is, and this is the only thing, if I stream in like the morning and afternoon, I have the light that's here hits me in the face. Right? So I have an overhead light. Only reason why I don't use it is because it's like right over my head. It gets hot pretty quick. It's getting colder out, so it's not like that bad, but at the same time, it's okay. That's why I keep the window open. I brought 2 bottles of water with me now. Filled 2 of these things up. I have like my 1 gallon jug that I need to like get back at. You know, I've been following along with what's going in Mario, England too. And in like 6 weeks, Liz Truss, the new prime minister, they basically kicked out Boris Johnson. Then she resigned because her fucking that tax plan they were going to implement, the Tories were going to implement, where it was going to destroy the country and put it in debt, essentially. And then she got excommunicated out, or she resigned, and now it looks like there's a pathway for Boris Johnson to come back and become the prime minister. You know that's how bad it was. Boris Johnson is probably going to end up becoming the new prime minister yet again. That's fucking hilarious. I think I read it was like in a tweet or something like that, but I don't know if like they would want to like go through that again, because it wasn't any one of his specific policies that got out. Wasn't it there was like some allegations from some other people in his cabinet, right? Any British people, any people in that imaginary Harry Potter land, like can like talk about a little bit more, like can talk about a little bit more intelligence than I am right now. But I think it was like someone or 1 or 2 people in his cabinet. It wasn't like corruption. It was like, I think, sexual harassment or like racism. You know, the usual in politics. But yeah, don't worry, we got that shit here too. But you just don't go to jail and nothing. There's no real repercussions for you here in America. So if you do corruption, come here in America and do it, and end up becoming a politician, then you'll be fine. But why did I go to eat? Why did I go to a place that has a medium pot? I didn't think that was gonna be like that big. But Brimstone Sands did come out like earlier this week or something like that. I think Monday. So everybody's on. Oh, there you go. I didn't think it was gonna be that long. Oh yeah, I forgot. I changed the dodge to 1. I actually do like this tutorial. It's very simple, very quick, to the point.
You, come closer. Your captain needs you. One of those blasted things jacked me. In a bad way. That demon storm. A voice in my head. These foul creatures. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I think so.
I forget if this was like fully voice acted. So you see this like green thing blinking in the distance? It wasn't there before. I did download the public test realm, so I was playing through the public test realm when they were introducing Brimstone Sands in that update, but I never got to play. I just watched. There's a YouTuber and streamer by the name of Damone Kim. He does a ton of great New World content. Go ahead and check him out. I was watching him like mostly play through it too, and then I think Asmongold was playing through it as well. So I'm confident that New World's gonna pick it up too. And I gotta tell you, $40. Other than that, you don't have to spend anything else. You just log in and you just play the game.
I don't know. I lost it when
I mean, there's grind. Don't get me wrong. It's MMO. You're going to have grind in the game. But I think the grind in New World is actually pretty manageable compared to like other MMOs.
Search the beach. If we don't recover the box. No. Wait. I will find it. No. Please. I can't die.
For having fully voice acted
like this.
NPCs is so important. Tab. I think you get reacclimated to New World.
You wash up on my shore, exhausted and weak, and I welcome you home.
Yeah, okay. This will not be a sword and board build.
What have you done? The source. It was my destiny to play that.
So, by the way, I remember I was playing this game like maybe like a month after it first came out. All this is new. Like the voiceovers and everything. This is all brand new. There we go. Muscle memory's coming back. Yeah, this is new too, by the way. I don't remember this being here. All this flora and fauna. I remember this. This was actually really cool. Eternum. I don't remember the music, but this is like a really nice like introduction like to the game.
You had the choice. You forced my hand. Your soul is now mine.
Your soul is mine.
I feel your blessings surge within me. Everlasting glory will be ours.
Yep. Remember this beginning. This beginning's actually pretty cool. Stage battle, you know, you go in there, you gotta do your thing. Soul power. I might just have to lower the window just a little bit. Oh, this is, I don't remember this screen. Oh, we got super oh my god. Yeah, okay. Yeah, people getting away with some names. Yeah. There remember the old super squirters? That might be it too. But you know, knowing most gamers, I doubt it. Oh, god damn it. Alright, hold on. It's E.
Steady there, friend. Dying can be a rather
We're gonna
experience
experience like the entire game. We're gonna listen to all the NPCs. If I have the patience.
Healthy, all things considered. Luckier than most.
And you know, actually enjoy the game as like a new player would.
Not anymore, but you were very much dead for a few minutes there. You've been resurrected, you see. It's quite a lot to take in, I know. You'll find many strange things on Eternum, and this not dying business is one of them. Yes, the pole of the corruption. It's that damn storm. I can't even count the number of ships it's wrecked. And every sailor coming ashore is corrupted. You're one of the few who came through with your soul intact.
Interesting. Okay. So we're just like fixing up a couple of things here. The jank streaming setup. It is what it is.
Ah, but I forget my manners. Watcher Layson Reese, at your service. I watch these shores for shipwrecks and help those like yourself. You're undoubtedly quite shaken by all of this. And
indubitably, I have no shoes and I'm in tatters.
Resurrection is taxing on the soul and the body. Unfortunately, we don't keep the watchtower very well stocked. Bring your own mead is the rule. But there are some nice fat boar roaming around nearby. Of course,
So my volume.
you're not exactly equipped for hunting.
I was thinking about upgrading the
are you?
mic, but this Yeti has served me well for so long. I'm fond of it eventually.
Yes, you'll need a skinning knife to start. Unless you prefer your roasted boar with the skin on.
No. I actually heard boar is pretty tough, but it's actually like pretty good if you like properly baste it, you know, cook it like that. I've had venison before. It's very gamey. It has a very like earthy taste to it. Okay. What was it? Tap. Now, I haven't decided yet if this is gonna be like a pure DPS build or we're gonna go and do like a off-tank build. Okay, we need flint. Every wood from a bush. We need a skinning knife. Alright. The Watcher.
Very impressive. One of the nicest crude skinning knives I've seen. You've done this before, haven't you?
Yes.
It's important to know how to provide for yourself here. The wilds of Eternum can be a very harsh environment. It's reasonably safe up the road in the town of Pridewind, but out here, we're on our own.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yes, it has its own share of troubles, but nothing like what we are seeing here. The persistence of this storm is worrisome, to say the least. I may very well need your help, but as I promised, we need to get you fed first.
That's for sure.
Yes, you'll find them snuffling around in the bushes nearby. They're ornery, but I think you can handle it. Go and hunt yourself down a fat one, skin it, and cook yourself a little feast at the campfire.
Okay. Alright, I don't have... So, apparently... So they told me it's a 1-to-1 scale, right? For strength and dex. So dex and probably constitution, at least get it up to here for con, then dex. I mean, it depends. You can max out dex if you hunt down boar. Get some pork. I love me some bacon. I keep forgetting there's no sprint in this game. Craft some rations.
Smells delicious. And you seem to be feeling better than when you
rejoined
the ranks of the living.
I am, my friend.
That's convenient, because I really do need your help to make sure the threat here on the shore is contained.
Let's get it done.
We get shipwrecks on these shores now and then, but I've never seen anything like this. A storm, all these ships, in the fact everyone's corrupted except you? Well, we have to do something.
Let's do something then.
That's the dark side of eternal life, I suppose.
True.
You resurrected with your soul intact, but many come back soulless, the lost. Or worse, they return with their souls twisted, possessed by insatiable evil. Those we call the corrupted. Essentially, yes. And the corrupted are relentless, destroying and killing to increase their numbers. Looking at the wreckage of your ship, I suspect that's what's become.
So the corrupted are basically like those red enemies. The lost are like the blue enemies. That's probably like the best one. These are some player characters here, just like
corrupted gathering there. I know it's not a pleasant task, but if you can put down some of your former crewmates, it's a start, at least. Oh, excellent. If the corrupted start converging on you in numbers, I suggest you retreat.
Got some pop stickers. I might make that for lunch.
Handy. The last thing we need is for you to be joining their ranks.
Beard is a little scruffy. Okay. No. All right, there we go.
They shall ruthlessly strike down their fellows, their path to corruption begun.
That is actually like pretty nice, like the whole like she's like talking to you. Hit me again. Okay. Is it unbound for some reason? Okay, I don't. I think I got unbound. Game bindings. I don't understand. Everything else is working. Hold on. Okay. I don't understand. What happened? So the left mouse button, it's not attacking when I click attack. Huh. It's not the left mouse button, it's working. Am I pressing something else? Okay. I don't know why I did that, but I don't understand what's. I was literally just doing that. Hold on. Why isn't that attacking? is it because I had... This is weird. Okay, is anyone else? Huh, that's weird. Is it this? Known issue. Need to. Okay. Oh my god. Bro, that is so fucking stupid, dude. That is so silly. All right. That's what I thought. I was just like, is it my mouse? I'm not like doing a basic attack. I'm literally gonna be forced to play like Destiny 2. It must have been with the latest update. That is like fucking hilarious. Alright. The community here is actually like pretty nice.
You like it in Jewish, eh?
Hey.
Yeah, I do.
Hey, Niker, I appreciate the follow. Thank you.
No, it is good stuff.
Hey, what's up, man? I appreciate you following. I'm trying to. I'm just trying to play some video games here. It's actually pretty hard. I didn't realize it was pretty hard. No, is it because of your name? I figured you're trolling a little bit with the name, but as long as you don't break like TOS and like actually say like the actual slur, if you want to troll a little bit, I'm okay with it. Don't worry about it. I know how Twitch works and Twitch chat works. Don't worry about it. All right. Oh, thank God. I appreciate the follow anyway. Trust me. I was a chatter Niker before, way before I was a streamer. So I troll a little bit in Twitch chats myself. So, just playing some New World here. I was playing the first Descent for a little bit. It's okay. It's still in beta, so I'll probably after this download the update. The motion blur in that game is real. Like it was rough, man. But apparently the update that just came out today gets rid of the motion blur. So I figured I'd just hop back into New World, play some New World a little bit. And just go through like the new player experience. it's a lot of good updates they made to the game. So I was playing the public test realm for a little bit, a couple months ago, and I like the changes. So we'll go in there, we'll level this character up to max in a couple of weeks, and see what happens. Let's see. Everything on the screen, they definitely shrank like the text on the screen too. I just noticed that everything's a little bit smaller, which I'm kind of okay with. But I wonder if there's an option now. Well, let me finish this mission up and go back to like the safe zone. We'll go back to Reese. So this is the rapier. Got a round shield here too. There's a bunch of armor here. Finish this up. I don't think they moved any of the weapons. From the public test realm. All the there's like weapons scattered all along this entire area. I think they reskin these enemies too. These are all corrupted, right? Yeah. Yeah, they look way better. We'll see what the Lost look like. I didn't mean to do that. I gotta relearn all these controls. Okay. So, yeah, we'll go back to... Yeah, the bars there are definitely smaller too. They used to be a whole lot bigger. It's okay. I want you to see the world is beautiful. Let's see.
Well done. It's grim work, I know. But the storm wall is a fact. I'm not sure.
Didn't mean to skip through that dialogue. Sorry.
This wreckage at the same
Just
time.
early game dialogue.
It seems like it must be coordinated somehow. We generally see a new shipwreck only once a season. And even then, there are usually more survivors.
I was looking for like low profile microphone arms because the biggest issue I have with this is the arm is like coming like across. It's in front of me, but it's like coming across from the front. So like I'm gonna hit it a couple of times and you guys can hear it. Hear anytime like I hit the microphone arm, and like my water bottle is like right like next to it too. So I was looking for like a low profile one, that microphone arm. The only one that I found was like the one made by Elgato, and it's like way overpriced. But it's exactly what I want. It's lower to the level of the desk, but you can articulate it in like 3 different points. So you can like, it's super functional too, and I can easily rotate it from I saw it from behind my desk. And just put like encircle it from behind where my screens are and just put it in between my mouse and keyboard. It's perfect, if that makes sense. But it is what it is.
That's likely a lost cause. If they're out there stuck in the midst of the wreckage, they're probably already corrupted.
That's another time problem. Let me actually make some money on this platform and then I'll spend it on the stream.
And I couldn't possibly ask you to go alone. Well, I fear you may not fully grasp the danger of such an endeavor, but I won't hold you back. Just keep that weapon at the ready, and take out as many corrupted as you can. If you find survivors, send them here.
Okay, so we got some things. Let's get that. Put that robe on. Salvage that. Equip that. I'm not worried about that. We'll keep. Can I still attack? Okay. Once we get into like a two-handed weapon, we'll switch off to that.
This is only the beginning. All these sailors join our cause. Soon, it will be all of humanity.
I don't think I'm gonna spoil like who that is for you guys, because since they like greatly improved like the story, you know what I mean? So. Oh, Grace.
Back on the sand. You have my thanks. I know a safe spot this way. Come on!
None of this was in the game when the game first launched. This makes the game so much better in just such small ways. It's much more engaging. I don't remember if like a lot of these like NPCs were fully voice acted. I don't believe they were. One thing I won't be doing is reading all these things.
Well now, can't tell you what a relief it was seeing
It's
someone
Grace
else still human.
O'Malley.
I was beginning to think I was all alone out here. The rest of the world had gone mad. Perfect. I was betting there'd be some kind of town nearby. Thinking I'd go look for it after I'm done out here. But I'm not about to go walking away from a fleet of freshly crashed boats. Not if I have a choice in the matter. This isn't my first shipwreck, you know. You have to always think ahead, keep an eye on the horizon. And there's booty to be had here. Countless treasures, captain and crew had stashed on board, if you know where to look.
See.
Of course. Not like these rotters care a damn for it. And I'll be needing a new ship, a new crew. That takes coin. In fact, if you want to partner up, I'll split the loot 70-30. Or what the hell, 60-40 even. What you say? Then we can head to that watchtower of yours.
You know what I was thinking about? It was like that one game, Undecembered, which I don't understand like the naming convention there, but it is what it is. And like when like loot boxes and battle passes became like prevalent in like video games, you know what I mean? Like I don't know when that was. I'm moving around, my camera's like not able to focus. When did that really start? You know what I mean? Like 2000s, mid 2000s, when there was like this hyper monetization within like the games themselves. That would be interesting, like a deep dive when like, and what company first started doing it, and like what genre of game started pushing that out. Because I don't think it was MMOs. I don't think MMOs were the ones that did it. Because I remember like back in the day with WoW, and I wasn't like, I knew people who played WoW, but I wasn't really like a WoW player. I'm still not. I barely have ever played WoW. If I went, and what I did, it was always like on someone else's account, and they let me play for like a little bit. I don't think it was MMOs because WoW, it was you had the subscription fee, and then you paid for the expansions. Was it sports games? I forgot like which games like really did like the hyper monetization. That's interesting. Maybe it was MMOs, but not like WoW and Final Fantasy. It was other things too.
Ah, that's the spirit. It's a deal. I need to circle back to my own ship to grab what I can, but there's a wreck over there I haven't searched yet. Find the manifest first, then look for whatever's listed. I'll meet you over there. Fortune smile on you, mate.
We shall steal from one another, like rats fighting over scraps.
Huh. Okay. There's a dead boar. Do I have anything new? Okay. We'll just put that thing in there. And then 3. Because 1 is my dodge. I was never a big fan of the rapier, to be honest with you. I just never like got into it. Can I climb this? No. Let's see if we can like cheese some things here. New World was always good about cheesing things. Getting around certain enemies. Oh, there's a little bit of go ahead, skin. I will say like the gameplay loop in New World is like very addictive. Yep. Oh, the greatsword's right there. Oh my god, I nearly missed it. If she wasn't standing there, I would have just like... Oh, we're good. I would have like gone right by it too. Yeah. There we go. Climb that edge. Climb that edge. Okay. Yeah. So there's gonna be a fix for this too. I've noticed this too. Whenever you finish a mission, normally you will see it up there at the very top of the screen on your compass on where to go, but it's not showing up.
There you are. Huh. I was starting to worry. More importantly, though, what you find? Let's see here. Ooh, yes, these are definitely.
I also found a giant sword, Grace. You're not commenting on my giant sword.
We'll sell them and split the profit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I didn't have as much luck as you did. Those damn red-eyed rotters are swarming all over the wreckage of my ship.
I bet those rotters are.
My own treasures, but
Those rotters definitely are. I gotta stop messing with the mic. God.
Now there's a good mate. Tough one too if you're so confident. No complaints.
Oh, you're yawning all the time. God
Tell you
damn.
what, if you can get my stuff back, I'll give you a greater share of our profits. 40-60. Or what the hell, 30-70. What'd you say? Most of our cargo is lost at sea, and I got my captain's log on the way out. What's burning me now is leaving behind my ship's flag and my lucky wheel. Get those and then maybe we meet at that watchtower. Works for me.
Keep F1. Oh my god. Alright, let me get rid of this. We'll take that spear, put it in there, and then what we'll do is we'll just break down. Yeah, we're not doing any. These reskin NPCs are great, man. I love it. Our reskin enemies are like fantastic. The starting zone too is great. Let's see, armor chest. Robe hat. I want that medium armor. I don't think I have any bullets, right? Yeah, no. It's great too that they made sure that ammo doesn't weigh anything anymore. That knife staff. Yeah. I wish that like that sparkle effect was a little bit more predominant. You know what I mean? Like it was a little bit more pronounced. Because you have to get up pretty close. I don't mind if it like you have to get relatively close to it, but it's like still like a little hard to see.
Welcome back, my friend. Glad to see. While you were away, I think I may have located the source of this endless storm. There's a network of sea caves nearby where the corrupted seem to be gathering. Something nefarious is going on in there. I feel certain of it. See, now there's someone willing to step up. I can't do this alone.
There you go, man.
Thought perhaps our new friend might join as well, but she's not really a joining type, is she?
Nope, she's not.
I suspect you'll be.
She looks out for numero uno.
Give it a go. Why not, right? I'll go ahead and scout out the entrance to the caves. Whether she comes or not, I'll meet you there.
I fucked up a little bit when I was like trimming, so I just like right here. So I just made sure to like give my just trimmed a little bit more too, just to even it out. I'm growing out the beard a little bit. Going for that mountain man look. Okay, where am I going? Huh. She's not showing up on the map there. 30. We'll knock this up a little bit. So 2. Really? Okay. 4, that goes up. That goes up by 1. So that goes up by 1. So that is, so the scaling on the greatsword's 1-to-1. Strength dex. Sword and shield.
Look, I'm as grateful as can be that you reclaimed my flag and all, but don't ask me to go on a fool crusade against those red-eyed demons. I don't need a Medal of Valor. Just the coin for me, thank you very much. Good old
Fair enough.
Watcher Layson Reese says there's a town. I'll head there and sell this loot. I'll set your part aside until you get there. For my part, I'll be saving up for a ship to escape this hellish island. Oh, I heard a lot of stuff from Watcher Layson Reese, but I don't believe even half of it. Besides, Captain Grace O'Malley never met a storm she couldn't navigate. I'll find a way. You can come with me, if you like.
All right, Grace, all right.
Have it your way, hero. I just hope you don't end up as one of those monsters yourself. Don't worry about me burning you on the loot. You did me a favor and I'm good for it. As long as you survive, that is. I'll be there.
Okay. So we already got that. Okay.
Hey, you gave it a try at least.
True.
Ugh, that Grace O'Malley's a pirate to the bone. Doesn't care about anyone but herself. Looking at the corrupted massing here, however, neither her nor anyone else will be safe if this keeps up.
True.
The storm is centered right above these caves. No doubt about it. And I suspect some foul magic is afoot in there. The place reeks of charred bones and unbridled brutality. I don't know. If we both fall in there, there'll be no one to get word to town. I certainly don't trust that pirate to do so. I say we head back to town and recruit as many sword arms as we can.
Nah.
And come back. Damn it! I'd forbid it. But I fear you're right. Their numbers are
I
growing
got this
too
shit.
fast. Go then, but be quick about it. Look for the source of the storm and destroy it. I'll meet you back at the watchtower. Godspeed, my friend.
I'm just that goddamn good, baby. I'm just goddamn good.
And they shall witness the power manifest, the true future of the human race.
Okay, let's see which. Nice. Oh, she looks completely different. Yeah, they really did. They really did like reskin all these enemies. God damn, that was loud. Listen, I am not complaining. They look good. All right, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this is not a magic build. The foul demon has been slain. I'm not worried about any of the other gear here. I am looking for a bow, though. I wonder if there was a bow somewhere there. I don't have any ammo, though. That's the only thing.
You steal that which is mine. You assault my followers. And now you disrupt my plans. This is personal.
Okay, where is he? Oh my god, where is Watcher? Alright, there he is. I hope they fix this because this is kind of annoying now. Okay.
Oh, God's teeth! When I saw the storm receding, I knew you had triumphed. What was in there? Some kind of abomination? A corruption rift? Oh, I've heard legends of such things from way back. And you disrupted it. That's a story fit for legend right there, I'd say.
True.
You have no idea what a relief this is. I didn't want to sound pessimistic, but nothing like this has happened in the 300 years I've been here.
Been here for 300 years. God damn.
Those who've been here longer, the ones who haven't been driven mad by all the years, they tell horror stories about the corrupted. It seems
I bet they do.
Centuries ago, some dark sorcerer nearly corrupted everyone on the island.
Whew.
I suspect we'll see more corrupted in the future, but let's hope we can prevent such darkness as the legends speak of. Still, I hate to ask you to be the bearer of bad tidings, but
I accidentally skipped through and
just deliver the report to the guard at the gate.
Forgot another player character there.
A nice cup of mead at the tavern. You deserve it.
I can use some mead right now. And that sort of day so far is almost 1 o'clock. What is over here?
Come closer. It is time you know the whole truth.
Okay. Oh.
This island has always guarded the promise of paradise.
This is clearly new.
Humanity cast out, deemed unworthy of such blessings. But I did not come here seeking paradise. I came for answers. Redemption after a life of weakness and suffering. And I found a truth that disproved everything I had been taught. I tasted the knowledge forbidden to us at creation, and I saw the vision of humanity's true potential. I knew then I must correct this ancient injustice and restore the power which is rightfully ours. The heart of the mountain now beats strong with this purpose. After a century of preparation, our campaign has begun. The island's townships already fall before the might of our armies. The only thing I had not foreseen is you. You, who have stolen the gift meant for me. And now your soul will pay the price. For I will not stop until I have seized back the destiny stolen from us and brought true freedom to the world, both old and new.
This is great stuff, man. Great artwork. Good stuff. Much more engaging than what they had before. All right. Skinning. Are we getting back into that groove? Oh yeah. Yeah. Is that the truffle person that's in the middle of the road, if I remember correctly? Oh, we got something. Using a flint skinning knife. Got another musket.
Turnham have never been safe. But the roads? Never seen anything like this before today. Vicious balls came out of nowhere. Ate all me truffles. How should I know? Do I look like some kind of bore mind reader? Not me. I'm just a simple traveling herbalist. Tell you this much, however. The beasts have
he's an
ruined me for
herbalist.
the season. You mean you'd help old hapless Hal? Why, yes, you're a saint. Take my sickle, hunt up some truffles, and bring them to the settlement. Oh, gather any herbs or berries you see for yourself as well. They'll fetch a gold or two at the trading post.
For what? Aren't those like mission specific? Yeah, nothing's showing up on the map. Aren't they like right? There's like nothing here too. That's the only thing. Yep. It's a little bit of an issue. Just a little bit of an issue. I'm trying to remember the location. Okay, I'll take it. Get out of here. These snaggletooth wolves. They clowning on the Scorpion Queen. She's got a nasty sting. Act 1, Chapter 2, Lost Hope. Huh. Did they like remove that? Did they purposely remove it, or is it just like an error? Alright, let me go. Like. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to Pridewind, founded during the reign of the High King.
Sir Payne, what's up?
A report from Watcher Reese. Thank you. So, it was foul corruption behind the storm?
That's
Very
right.
Well. I will dispatch a knight straight away.
Okay. Oh, how lovely. Wisconsin taxpayer group asked Supreme Court to block Biden's student debt relief program. Jesus.
Welcome to Pridewind, founded during the reign of the High. In his report,
Can't help anybody except for the ultra rich.
Acknowledges your heroism. In which case, you belong here. Pridewind has a strong tradition of heroes. Of course, we always welcome guests, and you've arrived at a most fortuitous occasion.
Ooh, what happened?
We have just learned
All
the
right.
true heir to the throne is returning to the region. This is a day we have been awaiting for centuries, and a sign of new hope even during these troublesome times. Oh, I could recount the legends for days, but I must dispatch someone to the shore now. The Night Regent is indisposed, but Minister Lochner runs day-to-day affairs in Pridewind.
Okay, take this. I got a nice hat now. I ain't got no bullets or cartridges. There's a little bit of stutter. They still have like the musical instruments? Yeah, they do. They kept those.
Can you sense that Night Vale Hallow is upon us? Cold mists creep from the hills. Darkness shrouds the forests in gloom, and above,
Trying to
the
do
baleful moon
oh, what's his
watches
face?
all.
I already forgot his name. He was in Scooby-Doo. He was like sort of like a known like horror guy. I forget what his name is. Night Veil Sword. Okay, I need those tokens. Some mask. Okay. Some nice patterns. I think what I can do is go to trading post. You know what? I can't go to the trading post. I think I have to unlock it first. Yep. Alright, that's alright. I think what we need to do is grind out some XP. I want to at least get to level 20.
2 new faces to Pridewin in one day. Many a year since I've seen that. But these are special times. After centuries, the true heir returns. The royal bloodline will once again sit upon the throne. Forgive me, I take it for granted all are aware. The heir is Sir Gawain himself, most gallant of the High King's knights. You will have the honor to see his homecoming and the return of Pridewin's glory after many dark years.
Okay.
Across the centuries, I've watched the light fade from Monarch's Bluffs in the absence of a true ruler. Of course, the Night Regent has done all she can with my wise counsel, and now
I will gladly be the next king of Pridewin. I think it's time that a brown man take the throne.
Only a matter of days. I'm personally attending to preparations even now, as is my duty. Tradition is everything, wouldn't you say? One such custom I've established is that we offer our guests a complimentary room at the inn.
Okay.
You'll find the inn quite hospitable. I hand-selected the innkeep a few decades ago, so by all means, check in and have a warm meal by the fire.
Gotcha.
I must attend to other matters now, but we will speak again.
Okay. He's passed me off to somebody else. It finally showed up.
Them all. Warning them is a futile effort. They are blind to the real danger all around them.
Welcome to the Regent's Rise. Sleep here and wake up feeling like a king. You here to check in? Be my guest. Ooh, literally.
Okay, Grace.
There's a familiar face. About time you caught up. Here, we find ourselves in a little village pulled straight from the Middle Ages. Is it me, or does nothing on this island make any sense at all?
Yeah, it seems like there's people from like all sorts of like different eras that have like converged like on this island.
Ha! No doubt. For a place where everyone gets eternal life, you'd think it'd be more calm, dull, even. Not saying I like that, mind ya. One thing that is the same, though, is cold hard coin. You have it or you don't. Makes all the difference.
True. So it seems like Eternum is like this giant island in the middle of like the Atlantic Ocean, I believe. And that they, or I think it's like supposed to be like the Bermuda Triangle or something like that. I'm not too sure. But like people have traveled, they've come to this area, to this mysterious island in the middle of nowhere. A very large island, mind you. It's all from different periods of history.
You're both a little light in the pocket, but I did sell that loot we collected, so there's your share. Never let it be said Grace O'Malley doesn't pay her debts. Well, you got that coin I just gave you, so I'd suggest you get to spending it. Buy yourself a new blade, some new boots, whatever suits your fancy.
Whatever suits your fancy.
Aye, there's a trading post out there. Livelier market than I would have expected. You should check out the trading post yourself, and if you need to stash anything, there's a storage shed too. Go on, I'll be here.
Okay, can't do that. Some dudes rocking out. Some medieval rock and roll concert.
Look at you! Here just a few hours and you're already the most popular person in town. You had a caller while you were out. That overly
I'm the top heel on Twitch, baby. That's what happens.
Says he wants to have a word with you. That Sir Payne and Minister Lochner talk this place up like it's got a grand history and a bright future, but I'm not buying it. Word in the tavern is that Pridewind's overrun with people fleeing from trouble at the outlying farms.
Okay. And look at me with a giant sword and spear. I just solve problems.
Sounds like some kind of plague. People turning on their friends and neighbors with cold murder in their eyes. Unlike those red-eyed bastards on the beach, these folks aren't possessed. Seems like they don't have any souls at all. I didn't trust all the shite coming out of that watcher's mouth, but maybe there was some truth to it.
Sounds like it.
Sir Payne about these soulless lost outside town. Maybe get a more honest idea of what's happening here.
Alright. So, we're just talking to a couple of people right now, get through all this stuff here.
Ah, excellent to see you again.
Nice armor.
Perhaps Miss O'Malley can be trusted after all.
Maybe.
As to you, however, the Watcher's report guarantees it. In fact, the Night Regent would like to discuss a rather delicate situation, if you're willing. Oh, so you have heard the unfortunate news from outlying areas.
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that. We try not to worry newcomers with such things, but we've even had some knights who failed to report in. Yes, well, I hope, well, I mean, I have the utmost confidence this will be cleared up before the heir arrives. I think the Night Regent simply wants to take precautions. Please speak with her when you can.
Let us speak to the Night Regent.
Come in and be welcome. I will never forget the way this island tested me when I first arrived. I strive to ensure we are patient with newcomers, and in these times, our customs are even more difficult to observe. That is good to hear. I believe Sir Payne represents us well, and the spirit of everything Pridewind stands for. However, with all the anticipation surrounding Sir Gawain's return, we
I'm still waiting on my mead, y'all.
Turn into denial.
I'm still waiting on my mead.
4 weeks now. We've heard horror stories from people fleeing the farms, grieving the loved ones that turned on them. Behind their words, I sense a suppressed longing to surrender their own souls to despair. We offer shelter, comfort, and we dispatched knights to secure the roads, and many never returned. Minister Lochner counsels patience. He believes the royal bloodline will solve all problems, but I feel I must act.
You gotta do what you gotta do, Jin. You gotta do what you gotta do.
The mines are the backbone of Pridewind, where many townspeople earn their livelihoods. I've had no reports in days. I simply ask you visit and confirm with Foreman Alia that all is well. Then report back to me, please.
Absolutely. We got some missions. We got some missions. Okay. So fall damage.
Hey, are you the one I've been hearing about?
Yup.
Yes, you must be. You match the description. People talk around here, you know.
I'm on Mr. Popular.
They say you've been quite a help, and I was like, well, why haven't they helped me? But then I realized, silly Geardy, it's because you haven't asked.
I take my payment in gold.
Yes, honey. Honey so delicious, it's called
Or a
devil's
basket
honey.
filled with treats.
I have a
Apparently, I'm
special
okay with
reserve
taking
up
that too.
on Doriath Lookout.
I'd rather have the
Collect my
money.
honeycombs, and I'll give you some to taste.
Tip to receive a buff. Kidding me?
Love keeps you warm, but so does wool.
True.
Come to me if you ever need something stitched. I've made a fair garment for many a fine folk, even my darling Eddie, who isn't back yet. Yes, my foolish heart can't help long for my Eddie.
Okay.
It's too hard in the mines.
So it seems like you skipped
This is
town.
the first time he's missed our anniversary. I'd go to the mines myself, but his favorite turkey is roasting away.
Hmm. Okay.
That'd be lovely.
His
For that
coat.
oath, he has a wife who loves him more than the mines do. And then, gently remind him that it's our anniversary today.
Eddie's probably
I'd be very
dead.
cross if he doesn't have a gift for me.
So no voice line. Okay. Get some gloves. Anybody else? So he doesn't have a line, which I think is, I think he actually is voiced. I don't know if they added him in yet, or it's just like an issue with the update. We'll do this truffle quest, right? Yeah. Oh. Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na. Don't worry, I wasn't gonna take your kill. Got truffles. Getting some more truffles. I don't think I've actually ever had truffles before. Got one more. Don't worry, mature trees. I'm coming for you too. Once I get high enough level. Thank you, thank you. I won't say it's actually fairly dark. Calamity counter. XP gain. Like the additional storage in Monarch Bluffs. Onslaught. A horrible X-Men villain, by the way. Horrible X-Men villain. Oh my god, it's still... I have to go all the way around this ridge. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually getting like a little tired right now. Mostly because, like, I am hungry. I can delete this. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a break. I'm gonna eat something, and then I'm gonna come back to it. Let me just get to like a safe area. It's not a safe area. All right, folks. I think what I'm actually gonna do is I'm probably gonna end stream. Eat, take a nap, and then come back and stream like a little bit later today. But as always, I appreciate everybody's time and attention. Stay frosty, always touch grass, and Godspeed. It's good first stream back. I'm gonna be streaming like later today too. So, see you in a couple hours.